Welcome, everyone, to DCR Out Loud. My name is Tara McKinney, and I'm the Public Outreach Director of the Division of Cannabis Regulation. Today, we are so excited to have both co-hosts on. So, hi, Amy. Hi, Shayna.
Hi. So, last month of 2025 is already here. Lots of good things to talk about. It's been a year. It's been a good year.
It's been a fast year, I'd say. And I'm glad to be here with you both to round out 2025 and season 1.
Close the door, get out of 2025.
Yes. And graciously leap into 2026.
Okay. Yes. We'll do it that way.
This is also the season finale of the DCR Out Loud podcast. So, it's been one whole year of DCR Out Loud, and I'm really excited for this episode.
Okay, yeah, so let's talk about the lineup for today. So since this is the last episode, we decided to change things up a little bit.
That's right. We have loaded up this episode with DCR's executive team to talk about all of the things that happened over the year. The good, the not so good, and the noteworthy.
Yes, we'll start off with the section of compliance and enforcement, move into section for patient and application services, office of operations, micro business, policy and research. That's all a mouthful.
It's all the things: compliance, rules and policy, outreach, agents, patients. It's really the entire agenda of our daily life.
Of our existence.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're ready to get to it?
Let's do it.
So first on the list today is the section for compliance and enforcement. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Tara.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. We're so happy to have you here. Tell people who you are. Introduce yourself.
I'm Jennifer Zamkes. I'm the Section for Compliance and Enforcement Director. We have 4 bureaus in our section: Bureau of Facility Compliance, the Bureau of Business Licensing Services, the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement, and the Bureau of Product Integrity.
That's a lot. I think most people may know, but confirm for us, you're the largest group, largest section within our division, correct?
Correct.
And about how many people do you have?
We have about 100.
Yeah. So that's big, considering our entire group is only give or take 135, 140 right now. So that's the big chunk. Thank you for your service.
Well, we enjoy it. We have some great team members that really help me out quite a bit with the section.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So we're talking about 2025, and what are some of the highlights and accomplishments you feel like your section has done over the last year? I can think of a lot of them.
The biggest one, public-facing one, has been our program staff added an interactive licensee map to the website. So you can actually go on the website, see where a dispensary is located, address, contact information, as well as our other licensees.
Yeah. Didn't we have a lot of requests for that or something like that over the years?
We did, from all different areas. You know, a lot of times people want to know if this is actually a licensed facility. It's not just about where our facility is located, but whether or not they're actually licensed by the division.
Yeah, that's great.
That is definitely a tool that I use daily, multiple times a day. In fact, I was talking to Katie the other day, who put that map together, and she was saying the hits on that map alone are just crazy, out of this world. I won't say the number because she's like, I want to make sure that's right. It was that large.
Wow.
And we were both like, I bet it is. Yeah. So I think it's really one of our most popular websites out there right now. So what else?
Our compliance officers within the Bureau of Facility Compliance have visited every licensed facility this year at least one time per quarter.
Wow. That's a lot.
They've done a lot of work making sure that our facilities are in compliance, but also making sure that our facilities have someone that they can reach out to directly if they have questions about how to be in compliance.
Yeah, what kind of feedback do you get from licensees about seeing their compliance officer so often?
It's been mostly very positive, not only about the fact that they feel like they're getting this relationship, this rapport, getting their questions answered quicker, but also just having that person that they can go to whenever they have a question, don't know just really had to do something, it's been very positive.
Yeah.
We've even gotten some emails from the industry talking about some great staff members that we have.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
We've also completed the initial implementation of the reference lab testing with the Missouri State Public Health Laboratory. This is another step towards ensuring product compliance, safety of our product within Missouri. And we've continued microbusiness licensing implementation during this year.
That's a lot of good stuff.
So how are you feeling about 2026? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, we have several things we're looking forward to. A couple of things. We are rolling out a licensee lunch and learn series for 2026. This is for shorter, more regular bursts of learning opportunities for our licensed facilities. And we are looking at establishing a food safety compliance program for licensees that manufacture infused food items.
Yeah. So by my count, at least half of those things are directly responsive to feedback that we have received from licensees. That's something that I have always loved about your group and how you lead that group is there's no sitting on what we've already done. And there's also a lot of openness to the feedback and the ideas that licensees in particular have. And so a lot of these things that you're listing as, great improvements or things we're looking forward to are, I think, going to be well received. And I think we should be proud of how that whole team is developing and improving based on the feedback that we receive.
I agree. I'm very proud of the team. The section for compliance and enforcement has really come together during our licensee learning workshops. We had some great communication with the licensees about the interaction that they want to see from us, and we listen to that, and we want to continue working together just to make sure that Missouri's products are safe.
Yeah, wonderful.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Shayna, who are you?
Hi, it's me.
It's you.
Not only podcast co-host, but I am also the director for the section for patient and application services. So this team is 25 folks into 2 separate units. We have the individual licensing unit. They serve as the frontline team for the division. They specialize in individual ID cards. That includes like patients, caregivers, consumer cultivators, agents, physicians, and nurse practitioners. And additionally, they specialize in providing resources to the public through the call center. And the call center is all encompassing. So a lot of the things that we hear about feedback about what we're doing at the division will often come through the call center. Mm-hmm. And then the facility application services team, they handle all facility applications, things like annual payments, renewals, transportation, and microbusiness. Mm-hmm. So they specialize in areas of rule that relate to facilities, and they use this knowledge to ensure facilities are meeting all application requirements. And their work is really collaborative with Jen's team, with the section for compliance and enforcement. Some highlights for 2025. We had quite a big year. So our biggest headliner in my mind is patient counts continue to increase since adult use passed. We are rounding out the year with approximately 128,000 active patients in Missouri.
Yeah, so that's a little unexpected.
Right.
It's not really something that we could 100% predict.
Right.
Maybe not even close.
Right.
Because no 2 states are the same.
Exactly.
So going into this adult use program in Missouri, we didn't know what was going to happen to the medical program, but most folks assumed that it would go down, and it did.
It did.
But I don't think we really anticipated that it would stabilize and then continue to grow.
Right.
So
And
going to
it's
keep
been
an eye on it.
Interesting number of patient renewals too that had previously expired that folks are coming back to the medical program.
Okay.
So getting a little ahead of myself, but in
Okay,
2026 we are going to delve further into that and see if we can identify why that is, and whatever the reason is that people are coming back to the medical program, how can we educate the public on that to make sure that everybody knows it's available to them and make it more viable for folks that maybe don't realize all of the benefits.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then back to this year, because we've got a few more. So in late 2024, we received FBI authority to begin screening agents and owners for disqualifying felony offenses using a state and federal background check. So in 2025, we took on the large task of asking all of the agents that had been issued an ID card when we weren't allowed to fingerprint to then submit fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
So approximately 16,000 people.
Wow.
We just wrapped up last week on that project. So we don't have
Yay.
final stats yet. Oh, it has been 10 months. 10 months of a journey with 16,000 of our nearest and dearest.
I know, so fast, but also seems like a long time ago when we started. It's crazy.
Right.
That
It does
works.
feel like it's been longer than 10 months. And, we've learned a lot. We've really made good connections in the industry that our team didn't necessarily have before, but we are an additional good resource for folks if they have questions about rules, especially agents, because they're getting fingerprinted. What for? And they have, jobs out in the industry. And there's a lot that goes into that. And I think the biggest brag on us and on the agents out in the industry is that only around 30 agent IDs were revoked for having a disqualifying felony offense.
16,000.
Yep.
That's
Wow,
so great.
That is.
Right. And that's not something that we were, expecting either. We weren't sure how to forecast what we might find in these background checks, but it's really impressive that, the integrity is there. And it's been a good process. Likewise, new and renewing agents, they also had fingerprinting reinstated. And in the realm of agents, just in the last month, we've instated a waiver for the agent ID offer letter to help with the application process there. In the beginning, we started with needing an offer letter from a facility to ensure that there was a job there for them. But now, in our current market, that's not necessary anymore. And it does make the application easier for the agents and for the staff processing. So that's rounding us out for 2025. In 26, we are definitely excited to learn more about the patients, what drives them, what motivates them, how can we help educate, how can we make things more safe, secure, and accessible. We are also taking on research licenses, which you'll hear about from other sections, so I won't say too much.
Okay.
And then we are also looking forward to another round of micro business.
Yeah.
And whatever other backflips and cartwheels we need to do.
Yes, as always. Okay, all sounds great, and it's a lot. And as you say, who knows what comes next?
Right. But we'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shayna.
All right. And up next, we have Tanner Stevenson from the Office of Operational Support. Hello. Welcome.
Thanks, Shayna. Happy to be here on DCR Out Loud.
Is this your first time?
My very first time.
Yeah, okay.
Have you
Great.
ever been on a podcast before?
Never.
Never. Oh.
Well, this is the best one.
Your debut.
So, way to start at the top.
Yeah. Welcome.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your section.
Yeah, so I'm Tanner Stevenson. I am the chief of the Office of Operational Support with DCR. Office of Operational Support includes about 14 staff members, which includes myself and the lead administrative support assistant. And then there are 2 working units under what I'll continue to call Ops. Ops has the Systems and Analytics unit, which has about 6 employees, and then the Program Development unit, which has 6 employees, both of which were recently restructured and reorganized under the Office of Operational Support December 1.
Yeah, very cool.
It is very cool.
Even though that was recent, what are some highlights of your 2025 year?
Ooh, 2025. I should start by saying I started in March 2025, so I've only got 3 quarters in. But some of my favorite highlights, I think almost day one or a couple weeks after the fact, when I started, I was tasked with looking at the logistics given the directive for DCR to return to office.
Ah, yes.
And so I was able to get really familiar with the workforce very quickly and identified some needs. And I can go into that a little bit later. But overall, there was about 63 DCR staff impacted who did not report to office on a routine basis that we needed to find permanent positions, furnishings and electronics and equipment so that they can operate successfully on a day-to-day basis in the office.
That was a big lift.
It was big, and it was very cool though, because again, you did get to see the behind the scenes and the logistics of DCR very quickly.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like a crash course introduction.
It was a crash course introduction. Second to that would likely be analyzing and evaluating DCR's operating budget. So for fiscal year 26, but completed in 2025, we have determined there's about $3.9 million that we can reduce from our operating budget to remain good stewards to patient and consumer taxpayers and our licensees whose fees support our operating budgets while remaining accountable to the beneficiaries of those marijuana dollars.
And was that amount mostly on the medical side of the program?
It was mostly on the medical side of the program, yes.
Yeah, so we talked earlier when Shayna gave her update for her section about the reduction in the patients, and that comes with reduction in revenue, but it also comes with a reduction in the need to expend. So is that what you're talking about? We were able to shave some off there?
It is, with adult becoming the primary funding stream within the grand marijuana program. Yes, that is what I was talking about.
Okay, yeah, great.
Can you remind our listeners who the beneficiaries are for the medical marijuana? So $3.9 million went back into the medical marijuana program.
And who gets who benefits from that?
Yeah, so from our medical program, Missouri Veterans Commission receives the transfer appropriations granted to us at 100%. On our adult side, it's split 33% across the board between Missouri Veterans Commission, Public Defender, and then Department of Health and Senior Services.
And that was that's straight from the Constitution,
Straight from the Constitution.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
What about 26? Do you have anything that you're looking forward to particularly?
I certainly am. One thing in particular that's going to fall within the Office of Operational Support is our transition away from a program year annual report to a fiscal year annual report. This will allow us to report actual fiscal year financials that were applicable for DCR and program data so that there's not overlaps. You're not seeing fiscal year numbers change in one program year report to the next because of fiscal year overlaps and the like. So that is one thing. Additionally, given that Office of Operational Support has 2 brand new working units, I'm extremely excited to build some consistency in using our data internally to identify how we can become more effective and efficient in our daily operations. Next to that, with a new program development unit and their primary responsibilities of building out standard guidelines and operating procedures for DCR, really looking forward to the projects that are happening everywhere else so that the office can continue to support the division as a whole.
Yeah, I really love that you mentioned using the data and the folks with the expertise in that to help us be better. I think that is a theme that comes up with all of our teams, but we've never had a group that will really focus on that at the division level across the division. And I'm really excited about that.
I am too. I think there's a lot of opportunity from the financial side and using the data to become more informed when making budget decisions, but even on the workforce side and evaluating our workforce data to determine where we may have gaps or issues that we can identify internally to be a great place to work.
Yes. I love that. I do have a clarifying question in case there's someone listening that may not know what the difference is. What are the date range differences for program year versus fiscal year? What does that mean?
Program year was running December 1 to November 30th, which is an overlap of fiscal years, which runs July 1 to June 30th of each year.
Okay, so we're just bringing everything into alignment to report it all from July 1 to June 30. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, it's interesting that that all started because of when the law passed. So it was aligned with, we need to report on a year. Well, we've just finished a year. Let's report on it. But ultimately, it just makes a lot more sense and probably clears up some confusion that keeps popping up over the years. And those reports are really valuable. We get a lot of interest and feedback from folks who rely on what we report in those documents, the data about the patients and where the market is going and how we're spending our money and what we're doing with it. Yeah, I think it'll be really great to get that all aligned and help people understand truly how this is all working.
We do too.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for being on your very first podcast, Tanner.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yep. You
Yeah.
should come back.
Anytime.
All right.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thanks, Tanner. Bye.
Okay, so we are here with Lesley Turek. Hi, Lesley.
Hi, Tara. How are you?
Good. Introduce yourself first, just in case people don't know you yet.
I'm Lesley Turek. I am the Chief Equity Officer with DCR's Microbusiness Program.
And what are some things that have gone particularly well for the microbusiness program in the last year? What's some accomplishments?
I was looking back over my year and thought, gosh, I don't think I did much of anything. But then I was
know
like,
if we
wait a
wanna say
second,
that
I
out loud.
have a whole lot of stuff I didn't realize. So the first thing I think that was really important was that we got through our rule revision and we finally have that filed for formal rulemaking process. So hopefully within the next few months, we'll have that finished and complete. We currently, as of today, have 15 approved to operate microbusiness facilities, 3 dispensaries, and 12 wholesalers. And I know we have more that are moving towards the commencement process.
That is so great. It seems like every week there's another one that's maybe it's not that fast, but it feels
does.
like it's going faster.
It does feel that way. And every time I get an email about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I do a little dance in my office that no one sees but me. And then I email everybody saying, congratulations, I'm so excited. And I can't wait to come visit, which was another thing that I did this year a lot was visit facilities. I visited 5 licensees, which again, didn't sound like a lot, but knowing that they were all over the state, it did take me some time to go out and visit them. And I've already started arranging visits for this upcoming year.
Mhm.
So that's exciting. We also held Microbusiness Town Hall last year, and then some education opportunities for microbusinesses. And then I personally attended a few workshops that asked me to come and speak, or that I was a part of a question and answer for the group so that they can get more information about our microbusiness program. And then we also posted business resources on our microbusiness webpage. So that's pretty exciting. That was a long time coming, just to gather all the information that might be useful to microbusinesses.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of great work.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to in 2026?
I think we have a lot of things coming up. Obviously, we always have to do more on the education side, try to get them as much information as possible. So I'm looking at developing some more education opportunities for microbusiness licensees over the next year. I'm also scheduling those visits so I can see more facilities. But I think our really big, exciting thing is that round 3 applications are going to be opening sometime during 2026. So right now we are in the preparation phase. We are looking at our processes here at DCR and how to improve those and make those more efficient. And then I'm also working on producing training for applicants and also for licensees so that they get all of the information they need to feel prepared and ready to move towards commencement or towards even applying for the microbusiness program.
Yeah, so 2026 is going to be a busy year.
It's always a busy year, even though I think it isn't. It really is. We have so much stuff going on. So,
Well, thanks, Lesley. Anything else?
no, I'm just really excited to end this year and move on to the next one. We'll see what happens.
All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
All right. Next up, we have Dr. Rieka Yu with the Office of Policy and Research. This is all pretty new position, office. So how about could you quickly just introduce yourself and what your office does?
Yes. So I am the policy director, and I started back in March with responsibilities for overseeing any research and implementation of our division's rules. And very recently, we formed a new Office of Policy and Research, where we added 2 new staff, Dylan and Jason, who had previously been helping me with a lot of the research. So it just made sense to create a whole new group to all officially be part of policy research.
Yeah. How recently did you come together as a team?
As of this recording, we've been together for less than 1 workday.
I just realized how hard
goodness.
how hard this is for you because it's going back to 2025 but you will have a lot to look forward to in 2026.
You know,
So
the
you're-
assignment. you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're officially a part of 3.
Yes, officially as of
Congratulations.
today.
Yeah. Oh, that's
exciting.
great. So how's it going today?
Today it's actually going great.
Yeah.
We were working on fiscal notes.
Uh-huh.
And very luckily, we were not rushing or anything.
Uh-huh.
We just spent the last half hour very casually doing some of the work and having some casual talk at the same time. So good signs for
Yes.
fiscal notes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, let's see. Can you tell us a little about 2025? Any highlights that you want to share?
Yeah, so I think the biggest highlight would probably be our research licenses.
Yeah.
We were able to get our first draft of research license rules out for informal public comment, and I'm sure licensees were very excited to see that as well.
Yeah.
And I know my new team members, Jason and Dylan, put in a lot of work on drafting those rules before I started. So I think all three of us are very excited those got out this year.
Yes, I've heard that from them. I've also heard from them that they were very excited to have you take the lead and pull it all together with them. So that's clearly a good partnership.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That's a relief.
Yeah, wonderful. What about looking ahead to 2026? What do you have going?
2026, continued development of
Mhm.
these research rules. So hoping we can start to move forward with maybe the rule filing process with that.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting to see how my new team works together. As I said, we just started today officially as a new group. So seeing how all our collaboration works out is definitely something very exciting. And then I'm also very hopeful for the results of our market and economic impact research study to come out at the end of next year.
Yes, everybody's looking forward to that, and you have really taken the lead in wrapping up the study parameters and working with the contractors, those researchers. Is that going well?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
going really well. I think things are progressing well, and we are lucky to have very short update meetings because everything is moving pretty efficiently and have a pretty good relationship with our contractor.
Yeah. Yeah. Great timing for this team. You mentioned fiscal notes. That's always such a busy time of year, session generally. And we do put a lot of work into trying to usually quickly design something to implement the ideas that come to us from the legislators. And often it can be just a small impact to us, but sometimes it's basically designing a whole program. So really grateful to have the three of you working together on that.
I'm also grateful for Dylan and Jason because they did work on fiscal notes before I started. So I get to use some of their experience for this as well.
Yes. Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that update and for joining us in March. I didn't realize that it's already been that much time.
Yeah. Time moves by fast, but it still hasn't been a year,
Yeah.
even though it feels longer.
Feels
Longer.
like you've always been here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm really enjoying it so far. So
That's great.
yeah. Thank
Okay.
you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sure this won't be the.
Won't be the last time.
Yeah, yeah. See
Okay.
you soon.
Thanks. See ya. So, Erica, thank you first for joining us for a minute to wrap up this last episode. We've been talking a lot with everybody about the last year and what they're looking forward to. And there really are some big things on the horizon. So let's talk about that for a minute. So there are a couple of things I know you and I have talked a lot about lately. Kind of overarching, there's these new federal changes that could be impacting Missouri or in our licensees, and there's some continued implementation. Maybe let's talk about the federal changes that have happened. You and I have been, along with many people here, following recent changes to federal law and the definition of hemp, and thinking a lot about how that could affect the state or our licensees. You have some thoughts about what those changes may be or what we may be watching out for?
Yes, and we have been talking about this a lot, still relatively new. So as you mentioned, watching and learning the state changes, there's nothing yet, but of course, legislative session is upcoming. So we're going to pay attention to that, any related changes. We'll be looking out for federal guidance, but we're still going to be focusing on our mission. So no matter what, we need to keep providing safe access to cannabis. So we're going to stay focused on that and then keep an eye on federal changes and what that means for our licensees.
Yeah. Yeah, because really, who knows? In the next year, there's some things that need to be interpreted, and we'll be looking at how those interpretations could affect our licensees. Maybe there's some federal guidance coming out about what federal enforcement will look like, and we'll want to know how might that affect our licensees.
Right.
So kind of for now, at the time of this recording, just still, like you said, watching, learning along with everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah, and just being prepared to answer questions as they come along so we can be responsive as much as we can and just provide the information that we have available at the time.
Yeah, while also staying in our lane.
Right. Exactly. Staying in our lane.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of effects that really have nothing to do with us. So we do always try to keep that in mind. What's the other thing I mentioned? Continued implementation.
Right. Continued implementation. That's a good one.
Yeah. Rules.
Right. So we've have a lot of rules, a lot of draft rule revisions and new rules. So our draft rule revisions are micro business rules. Mm-hmm. And then facilities generally, we have our new curbside rules. Mm-hmm. And then we also have our brand new rules for research licenses. And then another thing to mention on continued implementation, we have been operating in this new structure now for over a year. So change in law, and then we had a lot of new staff brought on board. And so now we're kind of fully realized, so to speak. We have a lot of great skill and talent here with our DCR team. So much. We're at a really, really great place. And so it's a great opportunity for us to look to see where we can possibly improve and where there's opportunities for things like process improvement, where we can maybe tweak some of those things, and then where we can look at how our organizational structure is working functionally and where we can improve and possibly do better.
Yeah.
Because that's an important part of our job too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something the department as a whole has really been looking at recently, taking a close look at what we do and how we do it. Are we organized in the most efficient way to best serve the needs that we are meant to be focused on? Mm-hmm. It's a great exercise that I think probably does happen periodically for any good organization. In our case, we were pretty recently organized, but like you say, we have been now not just in our new structure, but really up and running in that new structure for over a year now. So it is really good timing to check in, and not expecting any huge changes, but there could be some adjustments here and there to make sure we're doing things as we should, the best way we can.
Right. Yeah. So change is kind of innate to our program, but I think it's important for organizations that you have to always be looking and evaluating and seeing where there's opportunities to do things differently or to improve upon.
Yes.
So we're excited about that too.
So we'll do that.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's great. Tara, what are you thinking?
I think that was a perfect way to end a great season of the podcast. Always appreciate you guys and the support that you give this podcast, the newsletter, my position in general, and making sure that our license have communication with the division. And I think that all of our sections have highlighted all the different ways that they're also doing that. And again, just really thankful to Erica and Amy for finding importance in this, because I think it really makes a difference to our licensees and the public. And so I'm looking forward to continuing this podcast into 2026. It'll be exciting and new, fresh material, maybe.
Yeah, well, like Erica said, there's always change. There's going to be things to talk about.
We like to have things to talk about.
Yeah.
Remember that we are always looking for new topics and ideas to talk about on the podcast. If you out there are listening and you have any ideas that you'd like us to talk about, you can email Tara. She can be reached at tara.mckinney@health.mo.gov.
Yep. And we also want to thank our listeners for tuning in with us today. We see you. We know you're out there. We want to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday and a happy New Year.
Yeah, until that new year, keep up to date between episodes. There are several ways to stay informed. Subscribe to our email list to receive emails from DCR on various topics and customize them to your needs. Go to cannabis.mo.gov and click on Join our email list. The Cannabis Connection newsletter is published quarterly and is your information link to Missouri's Division of Cannabis Regulation. For outreach events and more, visit cannabis.mo.gov and click on the DCR Communication and Resource tile.
Thanks again, everyone. You know, I'm really, really fighting the urge to not say, see you next year.
Just do it. Just do it. I'm here
Okay.
for it. It's the only time of year you can say it.
That's fair. Okay. Well, see you next year, everybody.
Okay. I have a meeting to get to. So see you next year.
She's totally done with our nonsense.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
This podcast content is intended for adults over the age of 21 years old and is best to be used for informational purposes only. The content does not constitute official compliance or regulatory guidance. The department and author assumes no responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in the content of this podcast. The information contained in this podcast is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness. Cannabis licensees should consult with their assigned compliance officer for rules and regulations specific to their facility. The content is not intended to diagnose or treat any medical condition and should not be relied on for any medical purposes. Patients and the public should consult with their healthcare providers about medical-related questions and the impact of cannabis on health. If you believe you are having a medical emergency, call emergency services. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed herein are those of the authors, presenters, and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by, the U.S. government, Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, or the government of the state of Missouri.